freaking parallel universe did I just wake up in? You're telling me, even if it proves to be true, that damaging a lining in the reflecting pool is something that Piro wants to prosecute to the full extent of the law, if it's proven true, and yet they're releasing people who pled guilty to assaulting a police officer?
Folks, that is Republican Senator Thom Tillis, who is basically going scorched earth on Donald Trump and this administration. He is done with their bullshit. And you're seeing more and more of this from Republican members of Congress every single day. As Donald Trump's approval rating collapses, the midterms are approaching, and people are increasingly angry about this president not showing respect to Congress, not delivering for the American people, and frankly, just acting like a goddamn crazy person. All right. This thing with the reflecting pool is one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen in my entire life. They're arresting people claiming vandalism. And I think Tillis is really right here, is the idea that they're going to arrest this guy for maybe tampering with the lining of the pool, which, by the way, I don't think any of us really believe that he did, when they're going to pardon people who put their hands on cops on the January 6th insurrection, is disgusting to me. And Tillis wasn't done there either. Let's play the second clip now where he just lights into Trump on this stuff.
Got it. And what do you make of this reflecting pool? It's something everybody's been asking about. I'm sure you've been asked
about it.
Well,
I've asked the police officers here, did they feel like it was okay to give pardons to people that beat them and to prosecute people who, let's assume for the sake of argument, the facts are true, they cut a pool lining, they get 10 years, you beat a cop, you get out free and potentially be eligible for restitution. Seems unequal to me.
What did the police say when you asked them?
I'm not going to tell you.
That's fair. That's fair. Thank you.
I mean, that's fair. But like, look, it is ridiculous the way that the law is being applied by this administration. Okay. I mean, for fuck's sake, guys, like we have Tom Homan, all right, took a $50,000 cash bribe and they killed the investigation into that. They've killed so many investigations of their people, but they want to throw the book at people they're accusing of crimes that they just made up. Okay. This is not the way the justice system is supposed to work. Just totally ridiculous. I mean, remember Sandwich Guy? The dumbass that threw a sandwich at I think it was at an FBI agent or an ICE agent in DC. I think it happened in Georgetown, right? Which was a stupid thing to do. Don't throw a sandwich at a cop, all right? But they tried to throw that guy in prison for like 15 years. They claimed that it was assault. He threw a Subway sandwich at the guy, all right? Which is, again, stupid. But like, what are they doing? I mean, this is an embarrassment of an administration that is not interested in doing anything that's actually going to keep you safe or improve your life. Okay, at the end of the day, they have the entire Department of Justice set up in such a way that its job is to protect the president of the United States, to conceal the Epstein files, to protect big corporate special interests and those who can pay enough money to get a pardon and make sure that nobody ever gets held responsible for the abuse that they give the American people. The laws that they break is just completely and totally disgusting. And the fraying at the edges here now is that it's getting to that point where it's so undeniable, and frankly, it's been undeniable for so long, that a lot of these Republican senators are willing to call it out. And I'm going to play you one more clip of Thom Tillis just absolutely lighting into the administration yesterday. And then I want to talk a little bit about Tillis himself and some of the qualms I have about the reasoning that he's coming out now against Trump.
What do you make of the president coming up here tomorrow? I mean, he's trying to push to pass the SAVE Act.
Talking's good. SAVE Act's a waste of time.
So what about Bill Pulte starting mass firings?
Well, you know, if Pulte does a reduction in force the way that I've been engaged to do it before, where you do the analysis, you make sure you retain the most capable people, and you only eliminate the people whose jobs can be either automated or never should have been there, good. My guess is, based on his past experience, it's just going to be another hot, steamy pile of Doge shit.
Should he dump Pulte? Should he dump Pulte? Should he dump Pulte?
I've staked myself out on Pulte. I think he's an incompetent sycophant and not the right person to lead DNI. And you're undermining, ultimately, what the confirmed administrator should be doing. He's going to inherit what I believe is going to be a mess left behind by Pulte and the distrust for this guy.
And, you know, look, Tillis is right about basically all of that, right? The SAVE Act is unquestionably a complete and total waste of time, and it is nothing more than an attempt to rig the midterms in favor of the Republicans. They're trying to create a new bureaucracy to make it harder for you to register to vote. They're targeting women and the elderly and people of color so that they can make sure that they win the midterms in November. It is not going to pass. And Donald Trump, by the way, right now is holding up a bipartisan housing bill that brought a lot of different people all throughout Congress together to try to actually do something about the housing crisis in this country. Trump is holding that up right now, demanding that Republicans kill the filibuster to pass the SAVE Act. He has zero leverage in that. Okay, it's again, this president is weak, and that's why members of his party like Tillis feel so comfortable in calling them out. I'm going to talk about Polte and the Doge shit comment in a second, but I want to make one point here because I don't want to give you guys the perception that I think Thom Tillis is some profile in courage. All right, I remember that Tillis was the deciding vote to allow Pete Hegseth to be defense secretary, now war secretary, or whatever stupid game they're playing over there. And Hegseth is an unqualified boob who shouldn't be dog catcher of a community center or anything like that. He's just an absolute loser. Okay, I know that didn't make any sense, but I'm frustrated here and I don't feel like reshooting it for you guys. But like it's Tillis only found his conscience once he decided to retire. And this is what bothers me about a lot of these Republicans. When they're still seeking re-election, when they still want to be on the ballot, they will kiss up to Donald Trump and kiss his ass. We saw that with John Cornyn, who did all kinds of stupid gimmicky shit to try to get Trump to endorse him in the Texas Senate race against Ken Paxton. And he still got his ass handed to him. And still at the end, Donald Trump endorsed Ken Paxton to embarrass John Cornyn. This is what happens time and time again. There's no loyalty over there, all right? And the president of the United States is an incompetent moron who shouldn't be in the Oval Office. And he's surrounded by, as Thom Tillis said, incompetent sycophants like Bill Pulte who are going to abuse the power of their jobs, of their offices, to remove qualified public servants whose job it is to keep us safe, okay? The director of national intelligence should not be a political operative. Should be somebody whose job it is to keep you and I safe, to make sure that that information is flowing, to make sure that law enforcement knows what's going on in this country and around the world to keep us safe. And instead, they're playing politics with it, and they're probably going to use it to spy on their political opposition, hope that they can find some opposition research or something stupid like that's something they can bribe them with or something they can attack them with, because that's what they're going to do. And it is. I agree with Thom Tillis on this. It's a steaming pile of Doge shit. And I want this all to be over just so badly. Okay, but none of it ends until enough of these Republicans are willing to stand up and do much more, frankly, than what Tillis is trying to do. Because in an ideal world here, we would all recognize that we have a demented dipshit president who doesn't care about the vast majority of us. They would remove him from office, guys. They would kick him out and say that they're done, but they're not going to do that. These people are not going to stand up for them. So the answer here is to punish them at the ballot box. And right now, because Tillis is retiring in North Carolina, former Governor Roy Cooper is up by double digits in that race. He's a Democrat. And we're going to flip that seat, I believe, for the first time in a very long time. North Carolina will have a Democratic senator. And North Carolina is one of those states that's slowly but surely trending blue. And now we're in a position where we could win in Texas and Iowa and Ohio and Alaska, and the races are close in Nebraska and Montana, and I wouldn't be too surprised to see if like something like Mississippi started to pop up given how pissed off the American people are. And I don't want to be overly optimistic because I still think it's going to be hard to take back the Senate. We got to basically get an inside straight here, but we've got an opportunity to do it because this president is an absolute disaster. And so my final thought on Senator Tillis here is like, thank you for speaking out on all of this because you're right. It is ridiculous that January 6th insurrectionists who beat cops are free right now. It's ridiculous that they're inventing crimes against people to try to cover up for Donald Trump's stupid disaster at the reflecting pool and the green algae and all this shit that they've created. But my God, are you willing to actually be part of the solution? And are you willing to admit that you helped us get here? Okay, because you can be part of it. We can remove this guy. We can remove J.D. Vance. We can fix the Republican Party. But I don't think you have the courage to do it. Because these Republicans are all cowards. They just want to get quick little clips for TV so that later they could say they were against him, when in reality, Tillis votes with Donald Trump 95% of the time. So, no, I'm not going to give this guy any credit, but I will say it is reflective of where we are in this moment because Republicans know that this president is an absolute failure, that his poll numbers are sinking, and that he's going down in the midterms. And they're standing up the foundation for the future of their party. But the damage that's being done to the average working person, to regular Americans right now who are less safe, who are less free, and who have less economic opportunity, who have less money in their bank account because of this president and the agenda that Thom Tillis has helped put forward, they are not going to get made whole. They're not. And that's too bad. But we can take this country back in the November election, and I'm looking forward to it. Do me a favor, guys, on the way out the door here, please make sure you're subscribed down below. Please give me feedback on these videos. I want to keep making them better for you. I appreciate every like, every comment, every share, every hype makes a huge difference for us, and I do read every single one of your comments. Then please do me a favor and click the bell icon down below to get an update the next time we post. Thank you.